the Retay Roundtable podcast, brought to you by Retay USA. I'm your host, Jesse. Hey, I'm trying to record a podcast over here.
So why switch to Retay?
Sounds like real.
Casting table.
Old dogs, new tricks.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm that dog.
Are you the old dog or
I'm
are you
that
the
dog.
new trick?
Well, I'm the old dog.
You're the old dog.
Yeah.
All right, so look, we'll jump right into it.
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have two people, and I'm guessing Kason.
No, we actually have four.
This is
This is where we're going to have a hard time.
What do you mean?
All
We
right.
I was
just said
asking
we have
questions.
two people.
We have two
We have
people.
four people.
We have two people who've never been on podcasts before.
Oh, okay.
And they're doing their very first podcast.
podcast rookies.
You shouldn't have interrupted me if you let yourself finish.
Wasted 35 seconds.
Oh, we got plenty of time.
It was
We
an
got plenty of time.
entertaining 35 seconds.
Absolutely. The best part is one thing I learned from you
Uh-oh.
was to start recording
Oh,
before
yeah.
anybody knew you
Absolutely.
were recording. Because we start the podcast just out of whatever. It's
I
not
love
like
it. And
hey, welcome to the Retay Roundtable. We can take that out too.
No, let's take that out.
yeah, but I don't know that you're ever going to get it out of this little phone thing. Because that was rank.
Is that baked potato?
You know, and 9 times out of 10, I'll use the first part of that.
Yeah.
But that one that I got to cut out, it kills me to cut it out because it's so good. But you're probably sitting, you're going, I probably can't use that.
Probably can't use that.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to call this a co-host.
All right.
Okay.
I like it.
So we'll jump right off. So the Retay Roundtable, we're going to call it the Texas edition. Everything's bigger in Texas, we've come to find out. So we've increased the size of this podcast by 2 people.
There you go.
Okay. So what we're going to do is
Did you think of this in advance?
No, we just did it about 20 minutes ago. You know that. So Uncle Will's at home. Okay. He's back in Maryland. So I needed somebody to be able to come in here and help me host with this thing. So without further ado, everybody's heard your voice already. Billy Campbell, the Foul Hunter.
Well,
How are you?
Man, I'm doing outstanding, but I really thought you were going to introduce.
No, he's a very special guest.
Oh, he's special.
I like that.
He's a very special guest.
I'm excited about
This
this.
is going to be fun because we
I
have.
feel bad for Will, though. I feel like Will would like to be here.
Well, we could always stump in like the 3 words that Will says
Yeah.
anytime. We can just be like,
You got a little button over there. You hit it.
it's the Will button. It
All
just
right.
goes.
I like it.
I like it.
I like that.
So, all right. So, hey, we're gonna head this thing up. We're gonna go 2 different directions. We have 2 absolutely fantastic people with
But
us.
why is it the Texas edition?
Oh,
you didn't
that's right. We're in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where are we at?
Welcome to Texas.
Thank you very much.
We're right down the road we're right between the stockyards and Texas Motor Speedway.
All right. What are we doing here for Texas Motor Speedway?
Well, it's a big deal.
Big deal.
Yeah. DUX Unlimited Expo.
DUX.
Yeah.
The official DUX, by the way.
Hey, this was a super cool event last year. We got to hang out, but it was like 6,238 degrees, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
July or August.
It was
Yeah.
August, yeah.
Today, I think the high was 62, maybe.
Yeah, and 3,745 mile per hour winds.
You know, I learned something today.
What's that?
So I'm not a big wind guy.
Okay.
You're fishing in the wind.
Yeah.
I
You're
don't
a
want.
small frame guy. You blow away.
But I realized me and you are a lot alike.
Mm.
But it took the wind removing the cap off your head.
Well, I just said that on the way over here. I have a super complex right now. I got a heck of a bald spot in the back of my head, apparently.
I'll see it.
35. You can't. You just shaved off like 9 inches of hair. Get
Hey,
out of here.
look, I'm like 3.5 foot tall. So everybody's
that's
like,
true.
that's the first time you saw that? I'm like, dude, I'm not even 4 foot. How am I going to see it on top of your head when you're 6'5"? It's
Yeah.
not going to happen.
It's pretty rough.
Hunter showed me the video today. You and the first thing that
Oh,
happens,
so it's Hunter's.
the
So
wind
Hunter?
removes your head,
Yeah.
your hat off your head, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
look here.
We're gonna look alike real quick because I have a pretty good thing with my my barber lady back home. And I told her, I said, look, at the point you have to start hiding hair and hiding baldness, just take it off.
Yeah, take it off.
And I'll be bald in a couple of months.
Hey,
probably.
be proud, son.
What about the white and gray?
Yeah,
You go in there
Well,
too.
see, I don't have to. I don't have to put that extra, bit of conditioner, if we'll call it conditioner, in my beard to hide it. So
I'm still working on mine.
I have no comment.
It's coming.
Speaking of you, working on what? Who are you?
My name is Kason Coder. I work at RUSA Outdoors and Dr. Duck Company.
What's your position over there?
That's a good. Where do we
President,
start?
CEO, COO, CFO.
Yep.
Janitor, shipping director,
Marketing, sales.
marketing, sales, product.
Actually,
you name it.
you used to have director of IT. He's director of it. So whatever it is,
He's the director of it.
he's the director.
Dennis calls me the one-stop shop.
The one-stop shop. Perfect.
Yeah, anything you can think of with the help of these guys.
Yeah. Do they? I mean, do you actually get these guys to help at all?
No, they kind of just make it worse.
Harder,
They make
yeah.
it harder. Yeah, especially
that.
yeah. No, they're great.
It's
They help a
important.
ton.
It's important daily to challenge those around you.
I agree with that.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm pretty good at
that's
that.
the only way anybody gonna get better at anything is if you challenge them.
That's right.
Speaking of being challenging, the person that I challenge all the time has never been on a podcast, has never been really put forth in the light that he's going to be put forth today and shined upon. We have, please introduce yourself. I can't do it justice.
Oh, come on.
So we have Chris Handy, CEO of Retay USA.
He's a handy guy.
He is the handy man.
He is the man. I mean, I'm fired. I mean, you really haven't been on a podcast?
First time.
I mean, it's like your podcast.
Pat, this is a total podcast rookie.
God,
Yeah,
it's
gonna
a
be
big
awesome.
day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Put it
pull it a little
closer.
bit closer to your face.
Sorry,
there.
it's hard.
No,
it's hard to drink my beer with this thing
It
so
is.
close to my face.
We were
I
going to
have
get
move it out of
straws,
the
but
way.
we opted out because we're trying to be,
straws
you
would
know,
have been perfect.
cardboard
Yeah.
straws.
Yeah.
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 So, but no, let's kick this thing off, honestly. So I'm super excited to have Kason here with us because you guys got a ton of new product coming out, right?
We do. Yes.
And it's all here
Several
at
new
the Texas
products.
Motor Speedway for
It's
the Ducks
here.
Unlimited Festival.
All of it. Every bit of it.
Yeah.
It'll be there. Yeah, we have 2 new backpacks. I'll just kind of go over them
Yeah,
real quick.
100%.
I mean, there's 4. So there is the Hunt Locker backpack. That was our best-selling backpack in the previous year. Sold out of that. We reamped that, upgraded it. So
This is the 2.0?
this is the 2.0.
2.0.
It's got a few extra features on it. So we launched it last season with like a month left in season. So this will be kind of the official launch of it this upcoming season. So Hunt Locker 2.0 backpack. The other backpack is the Journey backpack, and it is 100% waterproof, fully submersible. Billy was using it as a flotation device.
When he has to walk through anything more than 2 foot of
Yes.
water, he has to prop up on the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally, we got out there first hunt with it, and he takes it, throws it in the water,
Hey,
and I look down.
Product
I'm like,
testing.
your zipper's not locked.
I was so freaked out.
No, but yeah, that's
Nice.
our newest backpack.
So not to get away from the Hunt Locker.
Go for it.
I have to tell you this. So being friends with you guys and working together, cross branding, having these 2 knuckleheads, be a
Right.
part of the Retay family, and RUSA be a part of the Retay
Yes.
family, and it's been awesome. I personally use the Hunt Locker every single day, and I
Yep.
know that sounds crazy, right? But we carry the Hunt Locker for us, and I don't even hunt with it.
Right.
The reason that we carry it is actually when we're out on the road, we have extra charging handles,
Right.
bolts, pretty much any part to remediate any issue we have on the road with anybody as a customer, our own product, whatever it might be.
Yep.
The reason we like it so much is because there's organization.
Yep.
Right. So tell me about the system inside of the Hunt Locker.
Yeah, so that's, I guess, the main point, I guess, with all of our bags. So, RUSA and Dr. Duck kind of center the products around public land hunting. So with these guys, we take the features, they're like, hey, this is a feature we need. It'll be perfect for public land hunting. So one of those is the shelving system. It's 100% adjustable. This new one, you can completely take it out, but basically it's Velcro shelves.
Mm-hmm.
There's, I think, 6 total shelves, but you can take them in and out. It allows
Which don't
you to
move, by the way, when they actually lock
No.
in. I was surprised about that.
Yeah.
I was too.
Yeah.
And we upgraded them this year too. They're a lot more sturdy, super durable. We upgraded the material we use, so you could sit on the new one. Billy likes to do that too. He gets me in trouble with product warranty issues, but
I'm probably not sitting on it, bud.
you could. It's tough.
Really?
It is tough.
All right.
I'm telling you. But yeah, it's that's the main kind of point to our backpacks is the organization. Losing stuff in the bottom of your bag sucks. You don't want to be digging around for stuff. So this lets you organize it, choose how you want to organize it.
Well, I was always a backpack guy.
Yeah.
And even, I'll be honest with you, one of my favorite backpacks from all time, Cabela's it was water resistant, but the size of it was great. You get a lot of stuff in it, but it had one big pouch. It had a couple, maybe 3 pouches on the front. I still actually had this backpack, by the way. But just like all the other solid backpacks that have come along since then, once they try to get water resistant, and we all know there's very few that are really waterproof, and there are a couple of those.
Big difference between water resistant.
Yes,
and
huge difference. Yep. Huge difference. But everything has one pouch, it's just impossible. If you go on a 2-mile walk after a 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 15, whatever it is, mile boat ride, I mean, there's a lot of stuff you want to carry along with you, especially if you got to get out and scout public land on your way out of there.
Yeah.
So,
and being waterproof, what's the biggest thing that we see a lot of times with guys that will be shooting shells that may be left over from the year before? Rusted out hulls, right?
Yep. Yeah.
All the brass on those things are just rusted for, it's an 1/8 inch thick. It changes the diameter of the shell and everything else. But with having a waterproof backpack now, you kind of eliminate that.
That's right.
Yeah.
I've been super impressed with like the quality that they're made with.
Absolutely.
Materials, the zippers,
the
heavy
zippers
duty.
are huge.
Yeah.
I'm a zipper guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
That sounds crazy.
Well, I mean,
But
you
a
touch
good
it all the
zipper.
time.
Yeah.
That's what you're feeling, interacting with the bag. That's what you're going to feel, and it feels solid as can be.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, we use T-zip waterproof zippers. They're used by Navy SEALs, people.
It's good enough for me.
All
then.
different industries.
Right,
yeah, it's they have a lot of validity. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty simple bag. It's smaller than the Hunt Locker, but it's simple. It's basic. It's got a few features, a couple handles on it, but the waterproof zipper is the
bomb.
The shelving system, and then I guess the last thing's the tree straps for hunting and timber.
Billy, why do you use tree straps? Why don't you just screw something in the tree and hold it up? No? Some people may not know, right? We're from Maryland. We don't have trees where we hunt at, right?
Well, you get it. That's the first thing old G-Dub gonna say to you when he walks up.
Green jeans ain't fun with that, is
he
it?
more interested in what you got holding that bag up than he is if you got your hunting license today. I mean, that's the truth.
Yeah. So what states enacted the rule against?
Oklahoma, you can't do it on federal. And there are a couple other states that I know you can't do it on federal. Mm-hmm. I don't remember them off the top of my head. Arkansas is statewide.
Really?
Any public ground at all in the state of Arkansas, you can't screw. Yep. I mean, you're not allowed to if that limb's in your way, legally, you're not supposed to reach over and snap it in half.
Right. Leave the nature the way it is.
That's right.
Okay.
You can run over it with your boat on the way in,
right.
but
touch it with your hands.
but don't reach over and snap it in half.
3.5 hours.
Excuse me.
That's awesome.
So the tree strap, it really is necessary.
Yeah. That way you're taking complete, animosity out of having that issue come up.
Plus, in most situations, you can lean up, hold the bag up against the tree with your body, reach around it. You can have somebody help you. But in any other situation, you got your gun, your bag.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now you got to find that little tree hook. Where'd I leave it? And if your name is Dr. Duck, the odds of you remembering where you left it are like 1 out of 6 million. So he's going to have to dig in that bag. So he's going to walk back to the boat and put everything back in the boat and dig for the screw, then go back to the tree and screw it in, then bring his stuff back and hang it up. So we have eliminated that. We're team efficiency.
That's it.
Eliminating issues is what you guys do. That's awesome. All right. So besides the bags, what else you got?
Yeah, 2 backpacks, and then we went into jackets this season. So we came out with a non-insulated and an insulated. The non-insulated is called the Eufaula jacket. It's basically a shell jacket, 100% waterproof, breathable,
Still killer
packable.
zippers.
Yes, lightweight. We use YKK AquaGuard zippers on those. So that was the main thing. If we were gonna do jackets, we wanted to do them right, use the best material. So The YKK zippers, they've both, it's essentially the same jacket. The Oxbow's insulated though, so it's got Primaloft insulation, Primaloft silver. So they're both incredibly lightweight, but you threw on that Oxbow today and it's comfy.
Yeah, it's nice.
And Dennis, he's worn it, it's been freezing. I wore it and it was 6 degrees this season, but it keeps you warm. It's surprisingly warm for how lightweight it is.
And is that from the Primaloft?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So it's got Primaloft in the core, basically. And then the sleeves, the hood, they both have like a textured fleece.
Gotcha.
Which is super warm as well. So
awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I wore it with a hoodie under it and it was, single digits and it kept me super warm. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Both of those, they're all in a solid brown color we call umber brown. Yeah,
I saw them today for the first time. They're awesome.
Yeah, it
looks stellar.
We wanted to do a color just that was versatile.
Yep.
Solids are I think making a comeback. It's kind of that classic brown color.
Absolutely.
But the brown is dark enough you can wear it in the timber, but then it crosses over. So people from all different backgrounds, all different places can wear it.
Very cool.
So yeah, they've got more pockets than you know what to do with.
More pockets to lose things in.
For real, it's got chest pockets, magnetic pockets on the chest.
The logo gear is strong. We've seen all your stuff lay out today before everybody else got to see it.
Yes.
But there is a pile of logo gear.
Hopefully it's gone this weekend. Hopefully it won't be there. But yeah, we've
got
had
one of those brown hats with my name on it.
Do you?
The Dr. Duck logo with the brown hat. Yeah.
Yep.
Better snag it.
That's
Billy
my
will take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to just during the off season release lifestyle gear, stuff that's different. Everyone does lifestyle gear. We're trying to do just put different twists on it, but stuff people can wear every day.
Yeah.
About to have a bunch of graphic T-shirts come out with a couple of sayings I hear these guys say.
Oh boy,
that's
that's scary.
That's where my Instagram captions and graphic T-shirts come from. Is just stuff these guys say or do, or
the plethora of sayings.
Yeah,
I could only imagine.
So some of them they have to go on the back burner, but
let's say mine may have to be an undershirt.
That's a whole podcast. Right there.
100%. So we're going to break the rules a little bit, Billy.
Yeah.
We're going to actually do one thing we normally don't do on this podcast.
Should I be concerned?
No, we're going to talk about Retay shotguns.
Get out of here.
It's nuts, right? We have Chris here. So we have to talk about the guns a little bit because not only do you guys have a ton of new things coming out on your side, we have some new things coming out this year as well.
I didn't know that.
Hey,
I thought I was like in the clique.
You're going to hear it before anybody else. It's right here.
I know about it.
Well, I told Kason, but you were right behind it. I promise you. Okay. So, Chris, what do we have coming up in the summer of 2022 for Retay?
Well, we're super, super, super excited about the Gordion 20 gauge that we kind of soft launched at the SHOT Show.
Yep.
And we're looking forward to shipping them to dealers later this summer. I mean, personally, that's the gun that I'm most excited about.
Absolutely.
I think that's going to be a fantastic lightweight.
Yep. What's it weighing in at? 6 pounds and 2 ounces.
It's light.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it feels good. Real narrow forend.
Yeah. Because we also have a guy sitting here at the table that was a super duper hater of a 20 gauge.
Well, I'm making a note right now.
I see him making notes in his phone.
So when it's my turn to ask some questions, but
yeah, because here was my ultimate question for the past year. I kept getting, I had call after call after call. Hey man, why don't you try to shoot that 20 gauge? I'm telling you, 20 gauge is it. Join the 20 gang. Be a part of the 20 gauge club. And I'm a 12 gauge.
I was getting people commenting on my post saying, "Hey man, when are we gonna see that Retay 20?"
And then what happened?
Yeah, so I really made it almost the entire season. I love you guys, and I love that gun. I love that gun so much that I've not put it down since I picked it up 3 or 4 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Jesse even asked if we need anything. No, I don't need anything. I'm gonna shoot this till I shoot the metal off the side of this thing, man. I love this gun. And it's everybody like, hey, when we gonna see the 20 gauge? When we gonna see the 20 gauge? I'm like, I don't want to see the 20 gauge. I got 12 gauge. We're going all through. We got like a week left in Arkansas last year. And I don't know why, but well, I do know why. So we were taking Matt, our camera guy. Mm-hmm. He had seen us shoot ducks all year, been involved in that process. He had never filmed, never been on a waterfowl hunt. Learned this with Grant, took it over himself to project with our federal black cloud stuff that you guys are a great partner in. And he loved it. And we wanted to take him to shoot his first mallard. So awesome. I didn't think I was going to be shooting. So I said, you know what? I'm going to carry 20 gauge today. And the first thing I figured out that morning is you can put a lot of shells in your pocket and you don't even know you have bullets in your pockets. Yeah. You put a handful of 3.5 inch 12 gauge shells and anywhere on your body and you're leaning.
It's carrying the ammo can.
I just kept shoving 20 gauge shells in pockets going, dude, this is the coolest thing ever. I don't even know they're there. Hey, you need a shell? You need a shell? Oh, y'all aren't shooting 20. Well, I had only 20 in the hole that morning.
That's taking your shells.
So we have a group, and obviously our focus is getting Matt on his first bird.
Yep.
And we work, I'm thinking at 6 or 7, I had to go back. We do have it on video is one of my favorite hunts. Seeing this kid, he was so excited. He shot, I'm trying to remember. I know he shot a box of shells before the hunt was half over. And we only had like 5 birds at a time. Hey. But when that bird would hit the water, you want to shoot him again. We had told him, hey, look, bird hits the water, shoot again. We don't want no cripples. We've got great dogs. Yep. No dogs are jumping. You don't have to worry about that. That bird, he was shooting it on the way down. It hit the water. You see the water blow up. And you're like, yeah. And he's running over and high five. He's just having a big time. But we had 6 or 7. We sit these birds.
Yep.
And Nate and Hunter and of course Dennis and anyway several of us. I'm not even shooting. I'm standing right beside Matt. Just. I'm the journey guy. I'm all about it. And
Absolutely. That's what I was going to say.
Soaking this in, and it's such a good time.
What we preach all the time,
They
right?
kill 6 out of 7, and this one duck gets out, and he's treetops. And I was looking at him, and I raised up with that 20 gauge, and I thought to myself, there is absolutely no. And as I'm thinking it, my lips are probably moving, but I pulled the trigger, and the whole time I was just thinking, Jesse, giving me all these numbers and statistics about why the 20 gauge is a better gun to shoot. And I'm like, there ain't no boom. And he folded. Oh, yeah. And this is a shot. I got to admit, early on in our hunting careers, it's probably a shot. It's definitely a shot Dennis will make all the time. I mean, the other ones were dead. It's not like we're trying to work birds in treetop. And this was the last one trying to get out. And I'm going to throw something at him on the way out.
That's right.
But I promise you, I mean, I'm not making that up. That's what I was thinking. There's no way that bird dies. And he folded up and didn't fall. I mean, just tumbled down the trees and landed 30 feet over. And I sat there. I just shook my head. And nobody was paying attention. They're all, and I just remember sitting there thinking, dang, that dang Jesse right, boy. So that's the only gun I took.
The rest of the year.
We were up there the final days of the year, and Dennis, like 3rd or 4th, he's like, you shooting that 20 again today? Like, yeah, I think so.
And it took him a while to tell me this, by the way. He didn't even want to admit it.
I'll bet you. It's hard to admit.
No, it's awesome, though.
I just still hadn't wrapped my head around how.
Yeah.
Well, go over, like for me, because I don't know the main differences between the two, and I'm sure a lot of people know. So go over.
I want, and I'm sorry to interrupt, Kason. No. But before we move on, because I'll forget.
Yes.
The gordion.
Yeah.
Versus the
Masamar.
Is it same, just pull out trigger assembly? What's the difference in those two guns? And you mentioned how light it is. I felt like the Masamar is pretty light.
Oh,
so the big difference with the gordion versus the Masamar is going to be that the gordion uses a single piece receiver, whereas the Masamar is a 2-piece receiver, where the upper receiver comes off with the barrel. And the upper receiver that's attached to the barrel is steel on the Masai Mara, so it adds a little bit of weight. Makes it easier to clean, makes it a little bit easier access to get inside of it. But it does add some weight to it. So that's why the gordion is going to be a little bit lighter.
Yep. And also, when you have the top of that receiver that comes off on the Masai Mara, it allows for the removable trigger milling that happens in the back of the receiver. So that's why when you have the push button 2-second easy removal with the trigger group, the gordion doesn't have that. It has a single pin that goes through the middle, still an alloy trigger group, still all the basics of your Masai Mara, but catered down into a one-piece receiver.
And it's lighter.
It is much lighter because of a single. So that alloy is lighter, and you drop about 5 ounces from going from steel to alloy. Yeah. So exact same barrel, by the way. It's the same barrel that we're drilling for the Masai Maras as we do for the gordion, but everything is so much more condensed down inside that one piece receiver, and price point for us too. You're talking. So
can you interchange those barrels?
You cannot, because the top of the receiver on the Masai Mara, it goes over top of the receiver.
Yeah.
So the gordion slides in like it's a sheath.
Gotcha.
That slides inside the receiver. But yeah, it's going to be cool, man. And I've already fell in love with it. My love for 20 gauges, but the gordion all the way around, I think is becoming one of my favorite products that we have. It's a standalone gun at its price point, number one, but it is a workhorse, man.
Well, remember me telling you about that old dog new trick thing? I just get in my happy place. I don't want nobody messing with my happy place.
No, I understand.
Don't fix it if it's not broken.
And I apologize, Kason, for interrupting. Back to Kason's question, because I want to, I tap into one of the great things when we talk about on our podcast, and we talk about the people we deal with and why we deal with them, why we want to deal with them. It's all about relationships. And the ability to build relationships that we have with you guys is a really big deal to us. And it's always great to come share this time. I think this time is valuable to continue to grow those relationships. But it's more valuable to me because I ain't that smart a guy. So it takes a lot of time for things to soak in. And like the drilling of the barrel, I've learned a lot. Hanging out with both of you around, just hanging out the booth around these shows, and somebody will walk up and we'll shake hands, we'll talk ducks, and they want to learn more about the gun. I'm like, well, hold on, I got a guy. But I do listen. And pay
NWTF was the best, right? Because he comes over, and I just remember we were swamped. The NWTF's a great show. We love it, right?
Stupid busy. It's
incredible,
crazy,
right? And there wasn't a time in that booth that we didn't have 20 to 50 people inside of our booth.
I lost my voice before lunch.
Yeah. I mean, you're yelling over top of calls. You're yelling at people. It's amazing.
Y'all couldn't talk when you came back.
No,
Nobody
zero.
could.
No. And I just remember there was this guy. He had Billy just pinned in a corner, boy. They were talking about everything. I mean, he's probably went through every duck he ever shot with you that day, which is the best part about these shows, right?
It's good.
Because I never stop talking about hunting. I love it so much. I know you're the same way. But I think he got to a point and he was like, well, tell me about the Inertia Plus system, right? And I just see Billy go, hey, man, hey, Jesse, come here a second. And you could just tell this guy was right on it, man. It was awesome. The dude was fired up. He actually owned a Retay already. And it was going, and honestly, he was looking at a 20 gauge. And then that's where I kind of jumped in even more because I'm like, well, let me sell 2 guys on the 20 gauge real quick. I get Billy and this guy. But no, it's, so Kason, kind of talking about the 12 versus 20 gauge, right? So the biggest thing is 10 years ago, and Billy talking about old dogs, new tricks. 10 years ago, the 20 gauge in the waterfowl setting wasn't a really capable thing, right? Because of ammunition. Right. So ammunition it was slow. And steel was not very great 10, 15 years ago either. But because you had such a
I can remember the first time buying 1,500 feet per second. Now, I don't know that you get anything less than that now.
Yeah, everything's setting at 1,450 and above 1,500.
Yeah.
There was days where it was 1,100. 1,050.
Dang.
And now with bismuth and copper plate and bismuth and tungsten and stuff like that, it does decrease the speed, but you're talking about a much heavier material that's flying through. So the kinetic energy is so much denser,
right?
With a bismuth shell, you're hitting, a number 3 bismuth is really like a BB
Right.
I think that's the conversion. It's a number 3 to a BB, a number 4 to a 2, a number 5 to a number 3, right? And kinetic energy as far as the weight. That tungsten's a much denser material than steel, right?
All this, I'm just thinking, I'm glad I just got to know the names of zippers and material this stuff's made of that we do.
But no, so what I always kind of joked with Billy about, now that we've stepped up the ammunition game in the 20 gauges,
right?
You're already doing one thing. You're making the pattern denser because you have a smaller diameter of your barrel. Okay. So a 0.724 is the diameter of a 12 gauge barrel. Okay. When you drop almost a half a tenth off of that going to a standard 20 gauge barrel. So what it does is it actually allows for a denser, thicker pattern, even though you have less pellets,
right?
Which actually is only about 9% on average. Okay. So in a steel shot, if you're thinking a number 3 3-inch 12 gauge,
right?
Okay. And a number 3 3-inch 20 gauge, that 9% is only somewhere between 25 and 32 pellets total. So it's not a large number,
right?
But you're getting a much denser, thicker pattern.
So it's not necessarily, because like when you're saying you shot that bird way up there, I mean, distance wise,
absolutely not.
There's no difference.
Zero, because when you're, so say Billy's shooting a 12 gauge and I'm shooting a 20, right? I'm shooting a number 3 pellet.
Okay.
My number 3 pellet is the same size as his number 3 pellet in his 12 gauge. I'm shooting maybe 2 ounces.
Okay.
He's shooting 2.5 ounces. Okay. So when you think about less recoil, it's because to move both of those number 3 pellets at 1,500 feet per second,
I
have a half ounce less to move at that weight.
That's the next thing I was going to ask is kick, because that's like
So it's less recoil because you're using less powder load to move a lighter weight at the same speed.
Okay.
So if you think about pushing a bowling ball and pushing a tennis ball, which one needs more force?
The bowling
ball, right? So now if you take a bowling ball and a smaller bowling ball,
and
you push them at the same, they're going to move at the same speed,
right?
See,
that's so interesting, because I just hear you guys joke. It's like, what size shell are you shooting? You're like 3.5. If they had 4, I'd shoot it.
That, right?
I've always just thought 3.5, 12 gauge is further shot, but that's interesting.
No, and really one of the craziest things, and we talk about this a ton. I wish Will was here for this, because Will has such a good insight on this, because he talks to customers every day about patterning. All right, so 3.5-inch BBs, right? That's what a lot of people just get this in their mind. They have to shoot a 3.5-inch BB with an extended long range full choke tube. Oh yeah, or 2s or whatever it might be, right?
Oh yeah, I'm a two
guy, right?
Yeah, that's me all day long.
So what they're doing is, what do you shoot? Extra full long range, tightest thing you can get?
Yes.
Have you ever put your gun on paper?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you decrease the size of your shot to say a 3, you know that you will actually have a more uniform pattern.
I don't know the answer to that question.
You will.
I always shoot a 2.
Think about this, okay?
Did I tell you about old dogs and new tricks?
Hey, we're educating here. This is what we're doing.
I will change my choke.
Okay. Well, there you go.
And for whatever reason, I know the reason. I'll tell you. I really like what it looks like at 20 yards, and it looks about, when you shoot that extra full, which I do prefer to shoot. When you're shooting it at 20 or whatever, it's tight. It's tight.
Yep.
And I've watched it remove the heads of animals. That's how tight it is.
Absolutely.
But when you get on out there,
correct.
It comparing it to a modified per se, I would think that a full choke's got another 15, 20 yards. I don't.
It does hold
denser, longer.
Yeah, it does hold denser, right?
Right.
The problem with that is once you start getting to a point to where you're shooting such a large pellet through a constricted choke tube, is steel's hard. It's not moving like lead, right?
Right.
So what you're actually doing, think of this: you take 2 golf balls and you put them between your thumb and your middle finger, and you press them together as hard as you can. What's going to happen at some point? Those golf balls are going to spin out, right?
No, they're going to
explode. You powder in your hands.
Yeah. Have you seen the cannons I towed around on me, boy?
He was telling us he works out twice a day now. I was like, does that mean getting out of bed?
Getting back in. So if you're not an Incredible Hulk over here, those two golf balls are spin out, right?
Yeah.
Same concept when you're trying to force such a large pellet down a barrel and then constricted, you're going to have more adaptation to have flyers, right?
Right.
So there you're losing.
So what they're doing is they're kicking around on the way out.
So
right?
instead of having that real nice dense pattern, you're going to still have a dense pattern, but you may have a quarter of that pattern spread out to 48 inches by 40 yards. right? So you're losing a good bit of it. With a 20 gauge, with our forcing cones the way that they're built out and elongating that forcing cone, you're conditioning the pattern, you're allowing it to come down the barrel. That 20 gauge is also going to have a little bit longer of a space for those things to separate and really hold together and not have that spin because it is a smaller diameter, right? So now we're talking about really putting, if you're talking 300 pellets, right? You're putting 300 pellets inside of a 30-inch circle instead of having those flyers where you may only put 280 pellets inside of it with 3.5 inch, even though it has more pellets because you got flyers everywhere. Real deep into kinetic energy there.
It's the science.
I'm glad you I can tell you're kind of like trying to process all this.
I'm trying,
I see the smoke
you're
coming out
like
of your
old
ears.
dog new
We've all
tricks.
spent,
I'm like,
we've spent probably a lot more time.
Yeah. Oh, well,
on this than we
absolutely.
should.
Yeah. And we're crazy about it too,
Yeah.
right? So honestly, Chris is the same way. I love to pattern guns.
And I get it. And it's valuable information, especially when you're in the business you're in. For me, I know what I shoot and what it does when I shoot it.
Absolutely.
And I kill a lot of ducks.
And that's where you're happy at, right?
And that's that happy place for me. And that was the problem with me going to 20 gauge, really.
Yeah.
I love that gun. It's super light. It's super cool. And
Confidence is a big thing, though.
I'm going to wipe it off and I'm going to sit it down. I'm going to go back and grab that 12 gauge and shoot it again with that extra full number 2, 3.5 inch Federal Black Clouds.
This conversation's making him nostalgic.
He is, right?
12 gauge.
He's going to go back and grab a 10 gauge soon.
But,
getting that look. And
you know.
I know you shot a 10 gauge for a while.
No, I didn't. No, I did not. I mean, I felt like when you know a difference in the fields.
Oh, yeah.
When you pin that arm down there, I might go to 20 gauge. Get back into. I ain't no spring chicken.
That's right.
But no, I appreciate you sharing all that information.
Yeah.
And Chris, I didn't mean to take over the conversation with that 20 gauge, but that's exciting news.
Yeah.
I mean, the Gordion ain't been out. It doesn't seem like. Wasn't that new last year?
The Gordion 12 gauge was 2 years.
2 years.
Was it 2?
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah. But this summer will be the first for the Gordion 20 gauge. Super excited about it. People are pumped. You know, that was probably our number one request, right? So people don't remember.
Was it really?
Oh, 100%. Literally when the 12 look, you can also, because you're left-handed, I'll give you the joke.
Yeah,
if we made every gun in the
bring it
market,
up.
if we made every gun in the market available, someone would still be like, well, you got a 410 bottom eject, you know, with a fiber optic sight on the back. But like, you can never make everything to get people happy, right?
It's true.
But the Gordion, this has
hilarious.
been since day one.
They'll usually
true.
they'll usually start asking for that the day you release the last thing that they were asking for.
100%.
This thing you're like, finally, we're gonna make everybody happy. And then they're like, man, that's cool, but when are you gonna make this? We're like,
never please them.
Back to the drawing board.
Yeah, but no, seriously. I mean, literally from 2 years ago when we released the Gordion 12 gauge, because at that point we already had the Masai Mara 3.5 inch on the market, and we had put the 20 gauge Masai Mara on the market as well. So they kind of came out at the same time. Immediately, when's the 20 gauge Gordion coming out? This has been 2 years ago. We were not even in development yet. And immediately,
It's like, can't you be thankful?
I mean, thanks to Chris's explanation, I get why you would do it. But I mean, my first thought, and I'm not smart, but I just gave you a 20 gauge.
yeah,
And why you need one of this too. But I mean, hearing, being 5 ounces and one piece, I mean, I guess I get it.
yeah.
So you're doing the left-handed when you said?
Man, I knew it.
I was gonna ask that.
I knew it. I knew as soon as we brought it up. But no. So and here's the thing. So we'll have the 3.5 inch Masai Mara out. We'll have the 3 inch 20 gauge Masai Mara, Gordion 12 gauge 3 inch, and then the 20 gauge Gordion 3 inch as well. Okay, but we're not done yet. Still got something else. There we go. Yeah.
Did you know this too?
What is it?
Kason. Did
Well,
Kason
first, I want
know?
to address the left-handed thing.
Yes, please address the Yeah, listen up. I mean, literally, we're 38 minutes into this podcast. This will be the most important thing ever heard on this podcast today. Please, Chris.
We have every intention in the world. For all my left-handed friends out there, we have every intention in the world in making our guns available in left-handed models. When it will happen? Soon, I hope. But we got to make enough right-handed guns to get those out to everybody who wants one.
And that's a good problem to
First,
have.
yeah,
You guys,
absolutely blessed to have that problem. Absolutely, but for those that want to know why we haven't yet made one,
Correct.
so
that's why.
you can't do them at the same time.
No, you can't do them at the same time because the machines have to be set up
one way or the other.
Reversed.
Yeah. They pretty much have to flip.
Yeah. Everything's got to flip. So you have to run a whole, you have to break down the production line. We have two options. We can set up a new production line only for left-handed guns, or we can break down our production.
And you probably won't sell enough to do that. Or you're cutting into the time.
Exactly.
We're cutting into the right-handed production.
Yeah.
Cutting into the right-handed production.
Yeah. And honestly, besides the 20 gauge gordion coming out, left-handed is next. And we know that. I mean, we're working hard to get there.
Yeah.
So
I ain't mad at you. I ain't never owned a left-handed shooting gun in my life.
You're going to be that guy. You're going to complain for 4 years for a left-handed gun, and as soon as you get it, be like,
I'll have something
You just
else.
said you're the guy that has old dog new tricks.
you know what he's going to say, Kason? Man, I don't think I like it. I'm going to go back to my right-handed gun. Right? My buddy Tommy Balger, greatest example in the world. Tommy got a left-handed gun for the first time after 50 years of shooting a right-handed gun. Wanted to throw it through the field on the first hunt because he was backwards. He was so dialed into shooting a right-handed gun.
Yeah.
It just completely ruined him.
It's like Jimi Hendrix.
But you gotta learn how to do it. But I'm gonna be honest with you. People ask me all the time about the federal stuff, and we love shooting Black Cloud.
Yeah.
Black Cloud is a very hard hitting shell.
It is.
It is a dirty shell, and if you're shooting across your face with any shell, you always had that likelihood if you're not wearing protective eyewear. And I got to admit, the Blue Otter guys developed that duck lens.
Absolutely.
But I'm still not real good. When it's just that early in the morning, you're not used to putting – I'm not used to here we go again, old dog, new tricks.
You still got your cheaters on at that point.
Eye protection is just – you will get some blowback, off – and it's just not the federal shells. It's any shells it could happen with. But shoot, man, I've been shooting like that for years and not had any. Thankfully, not had any serious issues. But I could see how you get used to it.
Oh yeah.
Loading, unloading, certain side,
everything.
I mean, I imagine I'll probably try and put a shell into the wrong side of the gun.
Because you're loading like, how would you hold the gun
If I shoot lefty, I'll just roll it out right here.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And run it like this.
So
you're going to roll it the other way.
Be thrown for a loop. You're the first one on the docket. I'll be blatantly honest with you. There's no other left-handed gun that will go out before yours.
Well, I already know what I'm asking for next. I know I've already brought it up, though. But
what if I told you there was a pump gun getting ready to hit the market in a couple weeks? Mind blown. So now we'll tell you, Chris, to the second product we were releasing 22.
Yeah, so this one's really, really exciting. So bringing the Retay drilled barrel, extended forcing cone, optimized diameter, the whole bit to the pump world.
Absolutely.
At a price point starting at $419?
Starting at $399 in black.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
3-inch?
3.5, sir.
Get out.
Yeah.
Come on. 3.5-inch pump shotgun for less than $400.
Yeah. And like Chris said, biggest thing, this is a pump shotgun with a drilled barrel and a extended forcing cone.
I don't think anybody's done it before.
Yep.
I mean, I know no one's done a drilled barrel.
Correct.
And to my knowledge, no one's done an extended forcing cone
yeah.
in a pump gun.
Yeah.
That's pretty huge.
Yeah, man, it's going to be awesome. So, we had the pump tactical gun out last year, the 18.5-inch barrel, the security gun. And that format now going to a 3.5-inch with a 28-inch barrel. The one cool thing about it, though, we didn't stop with just going to the drill barrels and the forcing cones. We actually created a forearm that, my biggest pet peeve was a marred up mag tube. On a pump gun on the old, gun you had for 20 years. The mag tube itself was just shiny metal, right? Because you done worn all the coating off of it.
That was one of my favorite things about it.
Well, now our forend doesn't even touch the mag tube. It actually floats over top of it. So we'll never have any marring.
Floating forend technology.
Yeah.
Is that a real thing?
It is.
We made it.
Get out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Dude, I'm pumped. See what I did there?
Kason, we found some more graphic tees there.
Yeah. I like that will not be hitting the market.
I mean,
That's something y'all should do, though. Hey.
Get pumped.
I'm pumped.
I mean, think about it. What's the one thing that keeps people shooting a pump versus a semi? It's price point.
It's price point. Yeah.
Price point.
I mean, it is. You
Absolutely.
know, hey, I'm not going to spend X, or I'm not going to spend this.
Well,
or
think
that,
about
or-
your introductory guys, right? So
Right.
the guys that we're trying to get involved, okay, we know waterfowl is the hardest thing to get involved in the first place. You have to have the connections, because if not, it is a huge financial burden to try to get going, right? You're talking dogs and decoys and boats and trucks to pull and trailers. And unless you have a group of guys who actually can usher you in and help you out, it's a very hard thing to get into. Yeah. But that also comes down to your gun, right? So you're out the gate with possibly a $2,000 gun, or are you going to get out and say, hey man, I won't really figure out if this works for me or not? And you're not sacrificing anything. You know, a pump versus a semi-auto. I know there's a lot of talk back and forth, but the introductory rate at $399 for a gun that you look. What if you get out there and you're like, man, this ain't for me? Yeah. You're not $2,000 into it.
Exactly.
You're $399. Or our younger guys, right? You know, I've been that guy. I didn't have a semi-auto shotgun until I was 21 years old. 21.
Oh, it was.
And it's good for, I mean, having a pump, it teaches you to kind of slow down.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know when I started hunting, I'd be 3 shells deep in about 2 seconds, not a duck down. You're just shooting into a crowd.
Slow down and make it
Wouldn't a
count.
pump kind of make you slow down and really, really focus on, you know, what you're shooting at?
Yeah, it definitely slows you down.
I need one of those.
Yep.
Last time we hunted with you shot pretty well.
Well,
I mean, you shot
I
well.
hunted 6 times this year, so I figured
You got to get it in while you got it, right?
Make it worth it.
Make the most of it. No, I think that is exciting, and I do think that open up some opportunities with some other folks in the industry.
Yeah, grow the family, right? We want to get those guys. We preach it on here. I know you guys preach it on the Dr. Duck podcast. We need more guys involved, right?
Yes, sir.
And if we can be a part of that, man, let's be it, right? So that's going to be really cool for us. But wait, there's more.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, we got our first entry into the sporting world, kind of a crossover sporting and an upland game style gun. It's going to be called the Antalya. It's also features the Retay drilled barrel, optimized forcing cone, grade 4 Turkish walnut, kind of done up with the engraving, a little bit more to
Polished
look at,
and
a little bit more polished and tuned. Exactly. Yeah.
And still featuring the removable trigger group.
Features a removable trigger group, tuned to shoot some of the lighter loads that you're going to encounter on the Skeeter Clays field. So,
yeah, man,
looking forward to getting that out there.
I can tell you right now, me and you, we ain't gonna shoot it because we ruin guns.
Yeah.
And this thing's too pretty to ruin. But
Yeah, I'm thinking in my head, boy, I bet that'd look good above fireplace.
No, it's a great looking gun, and we're really excited because it takes us into a whole nother category of firearms. But it is, I mean, it's really aesthetically pleasing. So it'll be in 2 models. So we'll have the jet black model, which will be a finished polished black receiver and barrel, and then we'll also have what we're considering the elegant. And the elegant is a nickel chrome receiver with a polished black barrel.
I'm a fan of that.
And it will have a customized and scrolling on the back of the receiver. So I mean, it's beautiful. You'll see it this weekend. We have them here with us at the DUX Expo. So.
That's the one you said I get to take home, right?
It's not a pump, is it?
I'm still trying to figure out how he knew all this before I did.
I'm just acting
My
like
feelings
I
are hurt.
But no, man, it's super exciting, right? So I mean, we got
that's just a huge market
It's
for
going to
that
be a
too.
limited release gun too.
Yes, it is.
For this year. Yeah. So we're making 200
200 of them.
200 of them. Yeah.
Yep.
What's one of them, Ryan?
Yeah.
I think MSRP
Elegant nickel.
on the elegant nickel is going to be $29.99.
Yep. So and it's trust
Well,
me,
that's
it's
competitive for that.
It is absolutely, and we're always going to be that way, right? I mean, that's what we make. We make our product in house. Everything's there. With this one, there's a lot more time put to individual details, right? So the price point is larger, but man, when you see it, it's a work of art. I mean, honestly, it's wood,
a beautiful gun.
My background in the woodworking world, and we've talked about it before.
Yeah.
This is it's a beautiful piece. I would ruin it in a heartbeat, trust me. But it's a gorgeous piece of wood.
When it comes to like y'all's new products, like how do you guys decide? Like, because for us, we look at stuff on the market,
Absolutely.
what these guys need, think of ideas? How do you guys like decide, hey, this is what we're going to do next? Yeah. This is what the industry wants or wants to see.
Yeah. Chris, you can take your look on that too, because as far as bringing new products to the U.S., I mean, for us, I think it's cool because we're still growing, right? So we're filling.
Yeah. So back when we kind of founded this thing in 2018, brought these to the United States, we kind of had a plan in terms of what markets we were going to go after, in what order, and so on and so forth. And so we started with the Masai Mara because it was it had features that nobody had seen before: the drilled barrel at this price point, the removable trigger group, the force and cone, all that kind of stuff. And we started there as kind of our pinnacle product. Lead with your top of the line type product. And obviously 12 gauge, that was the largest market. So that's where we focused. And then we brought in the 20 because there was a demand for that. And then, kind of the Gordion fills maybe a larger slice of the market because it's a little bit lower price point gun.
Right.
A little easier to create, manufacture. You can do a little bit higher volume because of the single piece receiver versus the 2-piece receiver.
One and done on the machine. That's really what it comes to. The time that you save on making the 1-piece receiver is 4 to 1 pretty much.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So with Retay, the biggest slowdown in production is the drilled barrels. The reason that most other companies don't drill their barrels is because it's a relatively new technology. And hammer forging has been around for a lot longer. Hammer forging, you can produce a lot of barrels very quickly. Most companies that have been around for a long time producing barrels have heavily invested in hammer forging machines to ramp up production, and they're somewhat dependent on those machines going forward to keep filling that production line. Because Retay is a newer company and we started at zero, we were able to drill our barrels and make them slowly because there wasn't a demand for them really to begin with. And as demand picks up, we've been increasing our capacity to drill those barrels. So we found ourselves in a really kind of neat spot, being able to kind of build out a market and giving us the flexibility to do something that these larger companies that are already established and have been around for a long time have a harder time doing.
Just jamming out in the
kitchen.
Love it.
What a guy. I tell you, let's introduce our third partner today. Hunter Stevens, everybody. Third day on the job and doesn't know how to silence his phone. Good job, Hunter.
He's crushing.
I'm kidding. Hunter's awesome, man.
Yeah,
he's been great. And wait till you see the photos that he takes in like 5 minutes, by the way, and then puts them on his phone, edits them out, and they're done. It's awesome. So
I like that, though, that y'all stuck with the drilling. You could have gone to hammer forging.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I got all tech nerdy on that stuff, but that's awesome. That's kind of what excites me. Yeah, exactly. Drilling barrels.
Yeah.
No, that's cool though. Y'all stuck with it. You could have gone, a different route to produce more. Stuck with what you guys.
And then just talking about the price point stuff, right? So your pump gun, there's always going to be a huge market, and we're going to elaborate on the pump gun later down the road with other options, right?
Right.
The turkey gun stuff. You've seen it in NWTF. Man, I love to chase turkeys, but man, there's a lot of people who like chase turkeys around, and there's a lot of guys who really get in depth on the technology and shotguns because it's important in the turkey woods, right?
Yeah.
We say it all the time. 95% of turkey hunters are going to pattern their guns, and it's going to be counting pellets. It's going to be dialed in and right.
See, I just
95% of waterfowlers will never put their gun on paper.
I've never put my gun. You sent me that gun. I took it to the woods and I started shooting.
Yep.
I'm going to be honest with you. I just did it.
This year?
Yeah.
I know. I know.
No, I'm when I say I'm not all this stuff is new to me. I literally took my gun apart this year to clean it, turn back around. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to put this back together. And I looked it up real quick.
I do think it's important when you're making changes or you're buying something that's, our industry has become something. It's kind of like you talking about the shot shell a while ago. Yeah. The shot shell has become, I can remember when we first were shooting steel and, everybody knows the difference between shooting lead, shooting steel. You add bismuth and tungsten. dude.
Man, if tungsten wasn't gonna, if tungsten didn't cost $300 a box.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, hey, the first time I shot, so I didn't grow up turkey hunting,
Right.
and when I turkey hunt, I carry my gun with the same choke, and the only thing I add was tungsten.
Tungsten, yeah.
And the can't stop the flop is a really cool saying and stuff. But let me tell you, son, that tungsten
It's
stops.
getting close.
It shuts that flop to a minimum.
It does. You also
And
gave me the heebie-jeebies there because, man, just being the pattern nerd that I am, there's no way I couldn't go count pellets after I switched up with shell.
Hey, I'm that guy. I always would cut it open with the kids and we go to count. And I get to like 15. I say, here, y'all count. And I'm out.
I'm like you. I'm
I'm
like,
past
hey,
that.
I
Hey,
shoot
you know
it,
what?
See what it does.
You know what how many is that? That's a dead duck.
Yeah,
That's
you
how many. But I got done shooting that tungsten.
Yeah.
And I was it was like how you say, smitten.
Yeah.
For your first high school girlfriend. I thought tungsten. I was like, I have never
Love
shot
something
anything
so much.
in my life that I mean, I heard it
Oh, yeah.
hit that turkey in the face. And I went. Somebody said, they make it duck loads too. I went straight before next season to buy a case of tungsten.
Yeah.
I was going to duck hunt with.
That's why I said it. If it wasn't going to be $200 a box of 25.
Well, you
it's
heard me
so
say it
expensive.
was.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
it's incredible, but man,
I look, if you got the money,
hey,
everybody used to dog on Michael Jordan for going and gambling, losing $400,000 or whatever.
that's like me dropping a quarter out of my
That's
pocket.
exactly right. I mean, if you got the money, go buy all the tungsten.
That's it.
I saw that guy comment on your post today about
I
getting
know.
rid of tungsten and maybe the turkey population wouldn't
I
be
just
hurt.
don't know.
And I was
Gotta
thinking to
love those.
myself,
That's another podcast.
I hope the ammo company, TSS guys,
Use that.
snapshot that, and I mean that would be my slogan. I mean,
There's always that guy that knows what is right
Yeah.
and wrong.
No, and I get it, man. And look, it is devastating. I mean, but
it is. That's the only word you can say.
devastating, right? For us being ethical guys, it's important to me, right? If you watched a turkey hunting show 15 years ago, you'd see the turkey come in, you'd see the shot go off. What was the first thing that happened after the shot went off?
He jumps.
Everybody jumps up and runs to the bird,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Everybody. That was how turkey hunting videos went because you were shooting them with lead at number 5s, 4s, whatever it might be, but you had to run to that bird to make sure he wasn't just going to get up and run away. Now, how many guys do you see get up and have to run after a bird?
They
Very
get up, high
few.
five, and do all that
And
stuff.
you're taking
And
B-roll by that time, right? Because it's done. It's over.
the last turkey I hunted, I almost forgot to shoot him. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hey, what about that video you took at Dennis?
I
shooting
don't
that-
talk about that video. I took a great video.
You got to tell that story.
It was just not in focus. I had it framed up right, and I mean it was great.
Yep.
But yeah, last turkey I get to putting that show on. In fact, I'll never forget. I was sitting there thinking, dang, I guess I better shoot him before he figures out that's a decoy.
It's so awesome. And I know you're a waterfowl guy through and through, man. There's-
Turkey hunting is, waterfowl hunting. I may have talked about this before, but people talk about buck fever. It
Yeah.
wasn't a big thing for me. Shooting deer, ducks is exciting all the time.
All the time.
But it's not. I'm still.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Morgan Wallen said. I live the way I talk.
Yeah.
Kind of drag it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Turkey hunting, it's almost uncontrollable.
It is.
And when he starts gobbling, I can tell he's getting closer. Especially if I got to run, do a little run and gun, close the gap, and he gobbles and I lock down. He gobbles again. He's closer. I mean, I know my shirt is just my heart's about to come out of my chest.
I've never shot a turkey.
What?
I went last time. No, never.
Me
I
neither.
grew up hunting my whole life. He went turkey hunting. My dad did all the time, but I never went out with him. And then I went out 4 or 5 times last year.
Well, I'm
Got
gonna
some-
be in your neck of the woods here pretty soon.
I hope so. I'm trying to go this year.
Y'all open up next week
Do we?
or
I'm in.
or this weekend.
Shoot, let's go pack up and
It's
I've never been either. I was hoping this would be my year.
Yeah, no, it's going to be your year. However you look at
We
it.
still got time.
Well, we haven't even came in.
I'm
We're
looking forward to
We're
it.
2.5 weeks away from our season even coming in Maryland.
Are you
right now.
really?
Yeah.
No.
So, 2 weeks away. And there, I will not pull the trigger this year until Chris kills bird. Dead serious. That will be number 17 for me, by the way.
Nice.
Of new turkey hunters killed bird.
That's awesome.
Yeah. If I could never kill a bird again in my life, right? And I could have somebody's first bird,
It's
well worth it.
yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Have you talked about on here how you started Retay? I mean, this is your first podcast, like how you started it here in the U.S. Have you ever talked about that on here?
No, I mean I've
probably
rolled around the story. It is a whole nother story.
That's a long
for sure. Because for it to come from Chris is actually really important. We have 2 hours. We can do whatever we want to. Joe Rogan uses like 5. We're good. So and I wanted to kind of get back with you guys as well.
Yeah.
So rounding around, we've talked kind of through all the new products, everything. It's exciting. I get this question probably more than most, right? Where'd you guys come from? How did it start? And I love telling the story. But to hear it come from you on how it started is important, and people really want to hear it too. So.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
you can tell how much I like to talk.
Yeah.
So I'll go right into this.
We
all
go
the
from
time.
Uncle Will to Chris here.
Man of many words.
Yeah. So I've always been kind of I grew up around guns, shotguns in particular. Skeet shooting, target shooting was probably the thing that I grew up with more so than hunting. My dad was into skeet shooting quite a bit. It was kind of back before sporting clays and all that was a big thing. So that's what I grew up doing, and just kind of developed a love for guns and all things kind of mechanical. I always liked cars. I like watches. I like shotguns, and so that kind of led me to wanting to produce my own shotgun brand. So I started importing on a small scale. Producing and importing guns from Italy and Turkey and some from Spain. And these were like custom type,
Very
higher end, low volume stuff. I had another job. I had a real job. Yep. So I was doing this kind of out of my basement and thing. And
Chris was very successful in the real estate market. Very successful.
Very cool.
So
that's what I did. And I did this kind of on the side because I liked it and it was nerdy and that's kind of was my thing. So anyhow, I got approached one day, got an email through my website that I was using to promote my over and under brand, and it was this group Retay that I had never heard of out of Turkey, and they said that they were going to be at at the SHOT Show. This was back in I think 2016, and I got emails like this from time to time, and I thought I go to the SHOT Show every year, and so I thought, well, just what the world needs is another Turkish autoloader. So wasn't super excited about that. But I stopped by their booth and I saw the gun. As soon as I picked it up and they started kind of going through it with me, I was blown away at the technology, at the removable trigger and all of this. And I just thought to myself, this is something different than I'd ever seen before. From another manufacturer, and this is something I think I could really get behind. So I was completely just wasn't anything that I was expecting.
Brought all the nerd out, didn't it?
It did. I was like super. I was there. So they were up in a little tiny table. Like if you've ever been to SHOT Show, they have like big elaborate booths and all this kind of stuff.
It's
$1 million booths, right?
Crazy.
And so Retay was like up on the 4th level, back in a corner, on a table that was like the size of this. Table. It was like a 6-foot table. I think they had one shotgun on it. So Retay has been around since 2006, but they didn't. They had no exposure in the United States, and the Masai Mara was the gun that I was looking at, and that was the gun that they had developed specifically for the United States market, as being they wanted to come into the market with something new and with features that nobody had ever seen before and really make an impression.
Separate themselves from the
right.
At that point, the normal Turkish market.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. So just started kind of getting to know the guys at the company, and turned out that everybody that was there was, younger and had some different ideas about manufacturing and the processes, and had a whole different direction that they wanted to go. I had been, the gun market is a market that grew out of the hardware industry. Essentially, it's been made and marketed like hardware, in a lot of respects. And these guys had a whole totally different view on things that I really thought was cool and kind of jived with what I would envision. And so one thing led to another, and we brought in the first batch of guns. You
headed to Turkey first, right? You went to the factory before that, correct?
Oh yeah,
you just went to Istanbul. Yeah.
So yeah, we flew into Istanbul. So I actually went through a period where I didn't fly, wouldn't get on an airplane, right? And certainly not to fly overseas. That scared the hell out of me.
That's scary to me, coming from a guy who's as mechanical as you are, or you seem to be. If you,
I like mechanical. I like
questioning my decision.
He understands it.
I like mechanical. I like mechanical stuff. I also don't. I like control. and so getting in an airplane that somebody else is flying freaks me out. I don't know. It still does a little bit. I've worked on it, but yeah. So forced myself to get on an airplane and go see these guys after I met them in Las Vegas at the SHOT Show, and went to Turkey by myself, which was a whole experience, and so
yeah,
it was good. It was really cool. They're a great group of people to work with. They make a great product. We're happy to be able to represent them and
absolutely
help give them some guidance here in the United States. And
that's cool.
Happy with the direction things have gone.
Yeah. So it was 2018, really, right?
2018 was our first full year of selling Retay in the United States. So met them in 16, did some fine tuning to the gun and some of the business plan and marketing ideas, and kind of brought that stuff together 17, and brought the first guns in 2018.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Met you in 2018.
Yeah.
In my first little warehouse. In my father-in-law's my father-in-law has a shoe company, and he was gracious enough to lease me out a part of his warehouse that he wasn't using. And
guns and fine Docker shoes.
Yeah.
So that's what I was gonna ask. So y'all just set up shop there and just started. And was it just you, or did you have a team? Or
started? It was just me. When I started, I was taking orders and shipping guns and meeting reps and doing the whole bit,
and taking phone calls from crazy guys like me.
taking phone calls,
guys,
the whole bit.
Guys
and I
like
was
me
still
who were
selling real
calling
estate at the time.
Yeah.
I was still selling real estate. So
I was calling them every other day,
right,
just to check in, make sure things were good.
How did you get connected?
Yeah,
like where did
out of crazy, actually. So I had seen the product in 2018 when it came in. Actually, at the Eastern Waterfowl Festival, there was one there. Put my hands on it and was like, "Hold on a second, there's something different." It's really kind of the same thing that Chris had said. I mean, the first time you hold the product, and even today, we still get customers who have never seen or heard of Retay in all parts of the country. But when they pick the gun up for the first time, there's a revelation that happens, right? Well, man, this isn't just another cheaply made Turkish gun. This isn't just another, gun, run-of-the-mill gun. And when you hold the gun, it feels like production, right? It feels very sturdy, very hardy. And that was my first, kind of fall into it. And being a waterfowl guy at that point, I was hunting every day that I could. I was working in the construction industry, actually. And any day it rained, boy, we were hunting. Any day it snowed, we were hunting. Any day it was a weekend, we were hunting. And I seen some things, with the Inertia Plus system, immediately sold me. I wanted to be a part of it, right? And all of you guys know, being a part of the outdoor industry for me at least, was a dream. I mean, it was literally since I was 8 years old, and I just told the story on another podcast. I wanted to be Michael Waddell or Jim Shockey or whoever else, but I was too ugly, so I knew I had to get into something else, right? I wasn't going to make it on TV. That's why I got a podcast. So I had to figure out a way in, and this was something to where we had met up at that facility. So it just happened to be that we made some phone calls, got in touch, and where his facility was actually my hometown. And when I had seen on the barrel of the gun at the Eastern Waterfowl
Festival, we use the
Festival,
term facility very loosely.
Facility. Yeah, it was the facility. And I'd seen it said Darnestown, Maryland on it. And I was like, well, man, that's down the road, right? Yeah. So that was where it all kind of kicked off. We got in touch, and then, I bugged him. God, I bugged him for a year.
Yeah. It was a good
year. Yeah. So Chris moved in April.
I knew immediately that I wanted to hire you. It was just a matter of could I afford to hire you?
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, but it was that was the winter. It was January, really, of 2018 and 2019. He goes, man, we're going to be moving the company to the Eastern Shore of Maryland. And I was like, crazy thing. Me and my wife, we're going to move to the Eastern Shore too. Total.
I thought it was completely true. I mean, sold it so well. I was like, that is amazing.
It was at our Christmas party this year.
It really must be meant to be.
Yeah. I completely lied. And my wife, who is the rock of my world, and the only reason why I'm here today.
She's never said this either. She's never told me that you lied. Oh,
yeah,
maybe she.
No, at the Christmas party,
yeah,
we
she
talked
finally
about it for the first time.
She finally did,
year,
but she never let on for
no.
2 years.
Yeah. So we had Erin, had a very great. She had a great job in Frederick, and she's in the education world. She's a reading specialist, and had a great job, and everything was going. We had a 2-year-old son, Levi, and then our daughter Hattie was being born. Literally, we had a brand. She was a month old.
Wow.
So in April, Chris said he was moving to Easton. I said, man, so are we. We put our house on the market in May.
That's
it went April, May.
To move.
Yeah. Well, so she had to quit her job. She started her new job. We didn't have a house on the Eastern Shore yet. We were 2.5 hours away. So she, for the first 2 weeks when she got a job in the county over from us, actually traveled for 2.5 hours one way and 2.5 hours for another, back every day for 2 weeks to start a new job. Oh. Plus, we had a 2-month-old baby.
My wife would kill me.
Now, Jesse I hadn't told Jesse that I would hire him yet. Yeah. He had no. He was just coming along to be there.
Yeah, we had nothing set in stone.
We had nothing set up.
No.
I said, when we get to the point that I can hire another person, you're going to be the guy. But I don't know when that's going to be.
Yeah, for 3 months, I actually traveled 2.5 hours back across the bridge every day, working in construction, until we finally, it was like, hey man, I don't know what we're going to do, but we'll bring you on, and that was October the 1st of 2019. So literally, from August.
Had I known this was the case, I'd have felt really guilty. But I had no idea. I was like, well.
Yeah. And honestly, we look back at it now, and we've not changed one thing, right? Because we did. We wanted to move to the Eastern Shore. It was a great place to raise our family. And it just happened to be that my dream job was down there. So, yeah.
That's crazy.
Man, what a good fit, though.
Yeah. That's crazy, isn't it?
And especially hearing that story. But
yeah. We've never talked about it before, but
no.
Yeah, it was, and like I said, man, you want to talk about somebody who made the sacrifice was Erin, and she made the jump and is still right there with me today, as much as we're on the road and everything else. And Kelly's the same way. Kelly is Chris's wife, and they're very supportive people and allow us to do this crazy stuff that we do. So
yeah, and we were talking today. You had 74 stays at the Marriott.
Yeah, we're up in the 70s already.
That was another thing. I was like, my wife would kill me.
Yeah.
This year,
you're on.
Yeah.
Whew.
I was telling him, I was like, this is our 4th event. I was like, it's just me, so it's hard. And he was like, man, I got 74 stays at the Marriott. And I was like, I'll just stop talking.
And look, you have, and I know we've talked a ton. Our kids are the same age, and we've talked, and really that kind of bound us at first. I mean, minus the hairy guys, like we talked on a personal level. And
who's he talking about?
But you have one baby right now.
Two.
I'm sorry. Oh, and one on the way, right?
Yes, the world now knows. Yeah, it's not a secret.
Breaking news.
Yeah, no,
I didn't know what to say.
I got he's about to turn 3. Yep. I got another one, and we've got one on the way. So 2 boys. We don't find out, so not sure what this one's gonna be.
We didn't either, man. That's the greatest thing ever.
I can't imagine moving right now, though.
Yeah,
that'd be a lot.
Yeah. How'd you get? We kind of run through our stuff. How did RUSA get started?
So honestly, I wasn't around when things were first kicking off and the relationship was made. My dad started RUSA with a guy in Tulsa. They got connected to Dennis. Was it at SHOT Show, or y'all came to the Texas Motor Speedway?
That's
actually,
right. Yeah,
for something.
That's the first time I met your pops.
Yeah. But long story short, they connected with Dennis and Billy. We're based in Tulsa. They're in Tyler. So kind of long distance relationship. But they got connected, started, developing the products, meeting, getting everything ready, developed. And that's kind of where I came in. We launched the company in October of 2019.
Yeah.
That's funny though. That's when we literally launched, but I came in, we had the first round of products designed. They had worked together. They had met with, our manufacturer. They came in, designed this whole first line of products, had everything ready to go. When I showed up, we had a team. Now it's just me. But at that time we had a couple guys, working, making it happen. But the website was like underway. We had no brand social media yet. You guys obviously had your stuff. So I kind of came in. My dad was just like, hey, I need someone else to kind of help facilitate this, because these guys, they're on the road, how many days of the year?
Oh, yeah, a bunch.
They don't have time for it. So some things changed, and he was like, hey, I need, someone to come in and kind of oversee this. Me, I had no background whatsoever in the outdoor industry. I think people see that too when I come to shows. They're like, he was just a young kid. But no, so I came in, had no, real background in it.
It's an interesting topic to bring up, though. Dennis and I, we've been part of the outdoor I wouldn't say industry. We've been in the outdoors our entire life.
65 years.
Hey, you think about it. Over 100 years combined.
True, yeah. That makes it sound
in
worse.
the outdoors.
Yeah.
And the one area that we probably lack in is that, kids are different today. Mm-hmm. They're raised differently than we were. We've done okay with social stuff, but we didn't grow up with a phone in our hand. Yeah, we didn't grow up with the technology that kids today have. Well, I mean, we were poking fun at each other a while ago, talking about things, and he's like, I was like minus 10 years old. But when you say you don't have that outdoor experience, the thing that you do have is a great connection with your age group. And that's kind of the age group that, Dennis and I, the mission that we have is to connect more people to this. Yeah. And obviously there have been some issues with public land hunting over the years, and there's a big debate over whether that's getting better or worse. Yeah. We like to think that our message and the messages put out by other people who pay attention to this will help create a better atmosphere. But these guys, they need that connection, and Kason really in his age bracket is a great connection for us. Yeah. At the end of the day, Dennis is going to tell you, I just killed ducks. That's it. And you laugh because that's what he's going to say.
It's so true. Yeah.
Hey,
it really is.
Kason, you got it. Yeah. I'm going to go kill ducks.
We'll go over here and do this. You take care of that.
And Dennis is a great guy. He's been a great role model. He's a great friend. He's a fantastic person. Kason's a good connection for that age group.
Absolutely. And not that I'm anybody, trust me, seeing what you guys have done just with the branding of the Dr. Duck brand, getting the engagement. I mean, look, we look back all the time, and there was a point in time where we were like, man, what are we going to put up on social media? Right. And I look around, and you guys have done fired through like 9 different posts before we got one up again. Right. That's the connection you're making, and you're doing a great job at it. So,
well, I grew up hunting too. It's just the industry. It's like, it's such a small industry. But qualified is the furthest thing that I was from, the position going into it. But
I think sometimes that's an asset, right?
Yeah.
Like,
very good point.
Just to be different, to think differently.
Yeah.
To be unqualified. Sometimes when you know too much,
right,
you know too much to do something different.
That world.
Didn't we talk about the old dog and the new trees already? And I'm not trying to take anything away from I've shared a lot of time in the field with you since we've met. Yeah. And that's another one of those situations where I can see the passion and you enjoy shooting ducks in the face.
No. Yeah, I mean, my best memories growing up were going to, deer camp on the weekend. So that's why this whole deal was just a cool deal, because my dad always wanted to do something like this. So this opportunity to work with these guys, it's been cool. you know.
Pretty fun to work with those guys.
Oh, it's a blast.
I give you a hard time a lot, but man, you know, truthfully and honestly, I love you to death, and it is.
I love you, dog.
And it's been awesome, man. And you guys do a great job. So, and your message is there and everything else, man. You guys are doing a great job telling that too.
That's what I was going to say next is we had to, you know, the figuring out what the brand was or what it looks like. That was kind of the goal. And for me, I came in and it wasn't hard because these guys, you know, if you go watch any of their stuff or listen to any of their stuff, the message is there. So my biggest thing was, okay, how do we capture it, make it visible and, you know, something that some people can see in one place, you know? So that for the brand, it wasn't creating a brand. It was taking, you know, this message that was there, putting it to, I guess, a visual, so people could see it and get it out there.
Slapping it around the back of a shirt, right?
I'm telling you, there's literally everything that our brand is, our sayings, our quotes, everything. It's literally from sitting in the duck hole, writing stuff down that they're saying, or, you know, literally.
Because it's all about what?
It's all about the journey,
It's all
baby.
about the journey, man. So that's awesome.
Yeah, so we launched in October 2019, and it's been a wild ride since then. We're doing well.
We ain't done yet.
Best.
No, man.
Heck no.
I don't think any of us sitting at this table. We're all sitting up late doing a podcast because we love to do all this, and
That's right.
I don't think there's a lot of quitting any of us here. So,
No.
which is going to be fun because at this point we could do a whole second episode. But it looks like the old dog over here might be getting a little sleepy. So, but no, seriously, Kason, I appreciate it very much.
Heck yeah.
You know, having you on to hear your guys' story has been awesome. We'll do it again because we need to do this like a wrap up every year and see kind of where everybody's at with the product stuff for us. But you know, it's been cool having you on here.
Yeah. Appreciate you having me on here.
Congratulations on completing an awesome first podcast.
Yeah, I'm excited to be a part of that.
Oh, you have depleted Will's verbiage.
That was just my goal. Was like if I can say more than Will says,
which we give him a lot of crap. Will is a pivotal part of our everyday.
The problem is that with like the 6 comments that Will has in these podcasts, they're way funnier than I could be if I talk the whole time. So
no, it's great.
It's all about quality, not quantity.
No, this was quality because look, I run my mouth to everybody in the world, and to hear it directly from you is so much more important because you were the foundation of this company and everything that has been done. And I'll say this to end. We talked about the product and how I really wanted to be a part of it, and we made this crazy move and all. And I told Chris this last year, I didn't move because of the product. I moved because of Chris Handy, knowing his vision and his drive going forward, and I wanted to be a part of that. Yeah. So that's an testament of what he's done, and he's built a great team. We are a family over there. You guys are a part of our family, and we continue to grow this crazy little family that we are. But that was really the core of it, is what Chris has done.
That's the coolest part of it. I will say that the coolest part of it has been the people that I've met along this journey, the team that we've grown and we continue to grow is amazing. And if we get nothing more out of it than that, I mean,
that's a pretty big deal.
We've done very well.
Yeah, so. I agree with that. And that right there, that perspective is a lot of why we continue to really enjoy working with you guys.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. We love working with y'all too. Speaking of guys that are part of our team, Hunter, say something for us. Say hi.
How about it?
Okay, yeah. All good. So he's over here running the camera around doing big things. We're going to wrap this thing up. One guy that couldn't be here this weekend with us was going to be, but he is doing his civic duty as being a part of the National Guard. He got called into work this weekend. We're going to let Jim Caesar take us out on this thing. How's that?
I like it.
All right, Jim. Appreciate it.
Raised in the South, I come up from nothing, I figured it out. They say when I sing, I'm the voice of the South. Give thanks to the Lord, cause I'm making it out. I can't believe I'm living my dream. Early morning flights, the skies are filled up with these whistling wings. Sights that dreams are made of. Look at God's creation. Dust coming in as we struggle to load. Kid number 2 is a hell of a load. Shots going off as they dropping the hood. It's so cold and my call keeps sticking. I'm being precise with the notes I'm picking. My lead is true, so no duck I'm missing. Full choke, so I'm good at a distance. I should have retake. I should have retake. I should have retake. I should have retake. Brush up the blind, ain't wasting no time, yeah, we gotta grind. Hitting the trees and bring a few digs and passing to me. Ain't no Beyonce, but these ducks in formation. This ain't no heist, but I swear green's what we chasing. Have you ever drove a boat in the morning? Can't think, can't see, can't breathe, cause the cold in it's fog. 2 strokes and 40s. party. It's a dangerous run to the hole. You know where I'm from, so you know how it goes. 25 Mercs and 25 Zooks, outboard spit smokes when it's cold. This is a timber run, something like timber run. Dodging these logging these trees, running so fast like we racing for cash in the water, so cold and it's starting to freeze. Could you believe the sight that you see with your eyes when the man is descend through the trees? My soul is at peace. I get so high when the ducks start to fly, I can see what the angel could see. Please do not blame it on me. The ducks don't commit, then we rearranging the digs. Come on, let's turn up the heat. They still ain't committed, then we got emotion the digs. Block swinging left, block swinging right, but keep him in sight. And if we not doing it right, no second chance, and we just might ruin the flight. We kicking water, ducks dropping harder, tell them kick hard. One hen gave in, but still got 10. Working circle, got me nervous. Ain't no stress, we on the X. Watch them banking, swerving, curving. We gotta finish these ducks, they coming in. Watch them run straight out of luck. I'm yelling, take them guns, I'm blazing. 1 + 10 came in, amen. That's a whole lot of mallards. Now one left out, we screaming, shout. One shot before man limit, I won't forget it. Yeah. Now we headed back to the ramp. Ducks in the bow of the boat. Chest sticking out like a champ. Chest sticking out like a champ. Raising the South, I come up from nothing, I figured it out. They say when I sing, I'm the voice of the South. Give thanks to the Lord, cause I'm making it out. I can't believe I'm living my dream. Early morning flights, the skies are filled up with these whistling wings.